Hello, it's Dawn Michelle from Boho Tarot, and welcome to another walk through the cards. Today we'll be taking a stroll through the wonderfully imaginative Gypsy Palace Tarot. I will share my thoughts with you about these cards and my impressions on this deck as we wander through the 78 cards of this tarot. The Gypsy Palace is Nora Huska's revolutionary tarot. It features handmade art that captures an explosion of colors, spirit, fantasy, and mystery through the wonderful and weird creatures of this deck. So let's go ahead and take a walk through these beautiful cards. So here we begin with our Fool, which really embodies the wonderful, weird creatures and artwork and the vibrant colors that we'll find throughout this deck. And we have our Magician with, again, lots of movement and color. A beautiful introspective High Priestess. I love this expression of color down in here, and it kind of just merges all into her outfit. Lovely Empress with all the flowers blooming around her. And here we have our Emperor, and he looks a little battle-worn and weary, but definitely get that strong Emperor vibe from him. And here we have the Hierophant, which his little face just cracks me up. He looks really kind of just frustrated and upset, and for me that kind of just works for the Hierophant. He's frustrated with it all, and you know, I can relate to that. Here we have the beautiful Lovers, and we have all of these strange little characters all intermingled and coming together, and I think that that's really beautiful. I think that there's a lot that you can find within these images. And here we have our Chariot, and I love the little dragon. He's breathing the fire. I think that's really beautiful. And here we have Justice with all of her different hands. Gives me a little bit of a Kali feel. I think that's really beautiful. And here we have our Hermit, which is a little bit different representation of our Hermit. We don't see the Hermit in those dark, secluded places. We see the Hermit in this bright, vivid environment, and I think that's a really interesting interpretation of the Hermit. I really enjoy that. And here we have the Wheel with all of the different characters coming together, creating this circular effect. So we definitely get a wheel sense out of it, but again, a lot more color and movement in this deck. And here we have the beautiful Strength, and I love that she's kind of squishing the lion here, which to me is just a little bit amusing. And I love this bird that's like taking her dress away. It's really beautiful. And here we have the Hangman, which is a very non-traditional hangman. We see this figure here hanging from the curtain rod with the two dresses on either side. And it's just a very interesting interpretation of the Hangman. I really enjoy that. So in here we have Death, and I think this is just a really beautiful and powerful Death card. And our beautiful Temperance. She's got her plate of offering there. I think that's really gorgeous. Really interesting Devils. We have multiple figures here. We have the hand that's kind of pushing her face away, which is a little bit funny. Really interesting. This Tower is fabulous with all of these weird bodies just intermingled and arms and legs going everywhere. And it's very chaotic, very disruptive, which I think is very on point with Tower energy. And here we have the beautiful Star, and we'll see lots of these kind of horse figures throughout the deck, which is really interesting. And the beautiful Moon. I love this Sun card. No naked babies, no horses, just this gorgeous, gorgeous woman in all of these bright, vivid colors, just kind of celebrating her own sense of self. I think that's really gorgeous interpretation. And here we have a very powerful Judgment with lots of colors, lots of angles, lots of big black lines. And here we have the two hands. So I think that's really beautiful. And our gorgeous World with the coming together of everything. So here we move into our minors, and we have this interesting figure for the Ace of Wands. And our beautiful 2. I love the little alien kind of looking head there. Again, these cards are really, really interesting, really strange. I get kind of a Dr. Seuss-y Dolly feel through them. Love this Three of Wands. I think it's just absolutely beautiful. The face on that character is just gorgeous. And here we have the beautiful Four of Wands. I love all the little birds. We definitely see lots of little birds in this deck as well. And the Five of Wands. Lots of different little characters going on here. Lots of energy bouncing around. Here we have the beautiful Six. Again, lots of characters, lots of interesting faces and arms and legs and hands kind of just going every which way. I think that that really provides a lot that you can sink into with this deck. Here we have the Seven of Wands, and we see again this kind of horsey figure that we see throughout a lot of the cards in this deck. The beautiful Eight of Wands. And this nine cracks me up. She's like kicking these kitties out. She's like, nope, you're done. You're out of here. This is me with my dogs. Just so you know, this is me with my dogs going, nope, go back upstairs. And here we have the Ten of Wands. And this was a card that Renee and I just kind of cracked up about. Because here you have this little figure. He's like so sad and depressed about all these flies buzzing around his head. But here you have the little frog that's like, it's no big deal. I'll eat him. I'll get rid of him for you. So we just thought that was really just a funny card and a really great interpretation for the Ten of Wands. We really enjoyed that. And here we have our Page of Wands. And I love that in this deck, the court cards are numbered. They're numbered 11 through 14. And that's kind of how I think of them too, in a more numerological sense. You know, we end at the 10, and then we move into the next evolution with the court cards. And that's kind of how I see the court. So I really do like that it has the numbers on it. It's a beautiful Page of Wands. And our Knight of Wands for number 12. We have our beautiful Queen of Wands for 13. And our funny king with this sort of arms and legs and all squishing his teeny tiny face. So again, lots of interesting characters in this deck. Now we move into our swords with the Ace of Swords. Love this Two of Swords. You get a very, has a very Two of Swords feel to it, but it sort of does its own thing with it, which I really like. And the same with the Three of Swords. Here we do have the object sort of piercing the heart. We have a heart here, but we're not locked into that interpretation with this deck. And I really appreciate that about this deck, that it doesn't lock us into those interpretations. I appreciate when any deck does that, to be perfectly honest. Here we have the beautiful Four of Swords. And the 5. I love the stars up here. It goes really beautiful. Gorgeous 6 of Swords. And a beautiful 7. Again, another weird creature over here, kind of like picking her pocket. Kind of get that more thiefy energy that you would find in the Waitsmith tradition, but I think that it's definitely open for interpretation, which I appreciate. Love this 8 of Swords with the snakes wrapping around her. I think that is just a gorgeous representation. And the 9 of Swords. And the 10. We move into our Page of Swords. And our Knight. And he looks like he's like wearing some underwear. He's missing his pants. He's got his peg leg. There's a lot going on in this card that really takes us out of our traditional understandings, which is really interesting. We have our Queen of Swords. Again, little bird. Lots of little birds in this deck, which I really like. A beautiful King of Swords. We have this little weird figure up here. Then we move into our cups with the Ace of Cups. Again, lots of arms and legs going everywhere. Lots of bodies intertangled in this deck. Beautiful 2. Lovely 3. Really like all of this intermingling of color and shape in this card. Well, in this deck as a whole. His little face just cracks me up. His little pinched face. I just think he's funny. 4 of Cups. Sorry, sometimes I get distracted by the artwork. 5 of Cups, just beautiful representation of the 5. Love this for this 6. We have the reflection here. Just gorgeous. Our lovely 7 of Cups. I love this 8 with the little horse figure. Again, we see the horse, and the horse is like, you know, embracing this person who's, you know, maybe not feeling so great about things right now. I think that's just really beautiful. And our 9 of Cups. Gorgeous 10. I love all the bodies that make the tree. I don't know if that is supposed to be a tree, but it looks like a tree to me. And our Page of Cups. Beautiful night. Again, love the colors. Our Queen. And our King of Cups. And we move into our Pentacles with the Ace. Beautiful too. Again, love the stars. Stars and birds. This 3, this, you have, like, I don't even know what's going on in this card. There's so much to sink into in this card. You have this giant face here, and you have this little character here, and there's just so much going on. I just love it. So quirky and weird. A 4 of Pentacles. And our 5, again, their faces just kind of funny, crack me up. 6 of Pentacles. Beautiful 7. She's got her rooster, her chicken. You know, we all need a chicken, right? And our 8 of Pentacles. Love this 9 of Pentacles. Really beautiful. Again, we see the bird. We've got some traditional imagery, but it definitely does its own thing, which I really appreciate. The 10 of Pentacles. Our Page. Our Knight of Pentacles, our Queen, and our King. So there you go. There we have the cards of the Gypsy Palace Tarot. Just gorgeous colors, very vibrant, very bizarre. It's definitely a deck that it's really quirky and weird, but I think it also really has the potential to be really deep and powerful. So thank you for joining me through this walkthrough of the Gypsy Palace Tarot. I hope you enjoyed this stroll through the cards and will join me again soon for more creative tarot for an inspired life.